everybody, and welcome back to the channel. The Champions League knockout round of 16, quarterfinals, and kind of semi-finals draw has been set. We know who's playing who. We know the chance of who's playing who in further rounds. It's all been done. And today, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about all the favorites for the competition and highlight all the teams that have the outside chance of winning the competition as well, and some underrated teams that have able to push towards the next round of the Champions League. As ever, if you're new here, I always say the same thing. I'm repeating myself as always. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you never miss any more of my videos. It's been a great journey so far on YouTube for myself. 300 odd subs now, thanks to you guys. 500 is next. 600, 700, 800. End of the year, we're getting to 1,000 subs, and I can only do that if you guys subscribe. But everything else is definitely appreciated. Thank you for all interacting with me, and thank you for all the love and support you've been showing me. But let's get into the the real business. That's why we're here. We're here to talk about the top European competition, which is the UEFA Champions League in its new format. So we have got some absolute crackers in terms of games in the round of 16. Most notably, Liverpool versus Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain will play Liverpool at home first, and then a second leg secondly. And in that little, group, as you can see behind me as well, and you'll see it on the thumbnail as well. So Paris Saint-Germain or Liverpool, whoever goes through from that tie, will play Aston Villa or Club Brugge. And I think everybody expects Aston Villa to go through against Club Brugge. But I do believe Villa and Club Brugge played each other in the group stage. And I think Club Brugge were able to beat Aston Villa 2-1, if I'm not mistaken. They played each other in the group stages or the league phase, and Aston Villa were beaten. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, if I'm not very much mistaken. Bruges were able to beat Aston Villa, or I might be completely off that. Yeah, look, Aston Villa were beaten 1-0 by Club Brugge. Yes, exactly. Yes. I knew I watched that game. I remember it quite well now. That was penalty. I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was a penalty. Was it a penalty? What is going on? Yeah, it was a penalty. Vanken. Yeah, see, I knew what I was talking about. But yeah, so the winner of Liverpool versus Paris Saint-Germain will play the winner of Club Brugge Aston Villa. And obviously the highlight of that kind of section of the knockouts is Liverpool versus Paris Saint-Germain, but whoever progresses from there is going to have an absolute cracker of a semi-final. On that side, we've also got Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid, another cracker, Madrid derby in the Champions League. They've played each other so many times over the years in Champions League finals, in semi-finals, in round of 16s. They've played each other quite a bit, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, and it always seems to be a very, very good game between the two Madrid giants. And I think that's another tie to keep eyes on. Real Madrid just knocked out Manchester City, and Atletico Madrid obviously automatically qualified. So I think it's important we look at that. And then you got the last kind of game of that side. You can see it behind me. Look, you can see it's PSG Liverpool, Club Brugge Villa, Real Madrid Atletico Madrid, and PSV Arsenal. PSV just knocked off Juventus over 2 legs in the playoff round. Very, very impressive victory for PSV Eindhoven, knocking out Juventus, another top European club that's been knocked out. So Manchester City are out, Juventus are out from that kind of side, which is good. Otherwise, if Juve would have gone through, we would have had Juve versus Arsenal, Atletico Madrid versus Real Madrid, Villa versus Atalanta, because Bruges knocked out the Europa League winners, and you had Liverpool, Paris Saint-Germain. So quite a few of the big boys have been knocked out already, which bodes a lot of other teams' chances to progress in the competition. But PSV Arsenal, and the winner of PSV Arsenal will play the winner of Real Madrid Atletico Madrid. So if Arsenal progress and Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid progress, we are going to have an absolute cracker of a quarterfinals. And just to put that into context, we could have a quarterfinal of Paris Saint-Germain versus Aston Villa, Liverpool versus Aston Villa, Real Madrid versus Arsenal, and Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal. If we're talking about the bigger teams, I'm not disrespecting PSV, I'm not disrespecting Club Brugge, but the expectation is for Villa to go through from that side, Real Madrid to go through Atletico, and you got Arsenal that most likely will go through in that. And I think we will have some very, very good games. But then again, you look towards the quarterfinals. So if Liverpool, Paris Saint-Germain go through, one of those will obviously go out in the in the round of 16, and one of those teams will go out in the quarterfinals. If we're talking about, so another big team will be out. If Liverpool PSG progress, if PSG get knocked out, Liverpool progress to the quarterfinals and play Villa. Villa will go out, or Liverpool will go out. Then Real Madrid will go through if they beat Atletico Madrid into the quarterfinals, and then Arsenal will go into the quarterfinals playing Real Madrid or Atletico. So another big team will go out in the quarterfinals. Is what I'm trying to say. So some very, very impressive ties on there. Now, before we break down the other side, as you can see, it's right behind me. Benfica, Barcelona, Dortmund, Lille, Bayern Munich versus Bayer Leverkusen, and final versus Inter. I'm going to give you my predictions for what I think will happen in the left side of the Champions League. That side, it's inverted. The camera is very, very strange. I think Liverpool will beat Paris Saint-Germain. I don't think they'll win at PSG's ground in the first leg, but I think the second leg, I think Liverpool will go through. So Liverpool progress to the quarterfinals. I think Aston Villa will beat Club Brugge over 2 legs, and they will progress to the quarterfinals. So our first quarterfinal set, Liverpool versus Aston Villa. And I think the only thing that needs to be decided, I could be very, very incorrect, is whether who plays home and who plays away first. Then we've got the other round of 16 games. It's Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid. I think, this is a tough one to call, I think. Because I had Atletico Madrid as one of the I actually have Atletico Madrid to win the Champions League. I'm gonna chance my luck. I'm gonna say Atletico Madrid will go through and knock Real Madrid out and progress to the quarterfinal. So that's our first quarterfinal done. So our first quarterfinal will be Liverpool versus Aston Villa, and our second quarterfinal would be Atletico Madrid, the first team. And out of PSV and Arsenal, I think Arsenal will go through. So that side is set. We will have a quarterfinal of Liverpool versus Aston Villa and Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal. I think Atletico Madrid will win the game 3-1. And I think Atletico will progress, and I think Arsenal will put PSV away. So Liverpool are through. Atletico Madrid are through, Aston Villa are through, and Arsenal are through. So we've got 3 English teams in the next round, which is pretty good. Now we move to the other side. We've got some crackers in this as well. We've got Benfica, Barcelona. We saw an absolute cracker they put out in the league phase. And again, another game that was in the league stage has been played in the round of 16. We had Bruges versus Aston Villa. Now we have Benfica versus Barcelona. We've got Borussia Dortmund versus Lille. We've got Bayern Munich versus Bayer Leverkusen, another very, very good game between 2 rivals in the Bundesliga, first versus second. Similarly to the Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, it's another big game in their own respective leagues, German league and obviously Spanish league for the Madrid derby. And then we've got Feyenoord versus Inter Milan. And I think Feyenoord versus Inter Milan is going to be a really, really good game. Feyenoord have just hired Robin van Persie as well as the new manager. And Inter Milan, winners of the competition in 2009 or 10. They won the treble in 2010, Inter Milan. And Feyenoord, they obviously are, a giant. Arne Slot's whole team, so I have natural bias towards Arne Slot's old Feyenoord side. So let's get into some of these. Now, Barcelona are one of the bookies' favourites to win the competition. I think they're just behind Liverpool in terms of favourites. I think it goes Liverpool, Barcelona, Real Madrid. And I think that's before the draw was made. So it might be a bit different now because we're looking at some crackers now. Benfica in their own right can cause any team quite a few problems. And I think they will manage to beat Barcelona, an absolute cracker between Barcelona and Benfica. And I think it's very, very important to highlight that, Barcelona and Benfica will be Barcelona actually won in the last minute. Yes, I remember now. It's 5-4. But Barcelona, they're a really good side. And I think a lot of people back Barcelona to win the Champions League. I think they were the favourites as it progressed. But obviously, that's been overtaken by Liverpool. You can't deny that. Barcelona finished second in the league phase and Liverpool finished first. So will be arguably the 2 favourites to win the competition. We've got Dortmund versus Lille. Dortmund, finalists of last season in the Champions League. And Lille, obviously, they've had a very, very good, they play very, very good football. And I think they were unbeaten for quite some time before they came to Anfield and lost 2-1. And a game where I don't think many people are going to be looking at that game, but Lille are a dangerous team. I watched them play against Liverpool. They looked very, very, very good, and that's the main thing. And the next game is Bayern Munich versus Bayer Leverkusen. Another cracker. it's a game where, Leverkusen are, the not European champions. They were finalists of the Europa League last season. Bayern obviously just about made it against Celtic in the playoffs. And they weren't impressive to me at all. And I think Leverkusen are going to roll them over. And you could say Leverkusen rolled over Anfield, and they've lost quite a few games this season that they didn't lose last season. But I just think Leverkusen will be too strong for Bayern. And I think that is an interesting tie. A very, very interesting tie. Can Leverkusen beat Bayern over 2 legs? Can they beat Bayern over 1 game? Maybe, yes. But I think that's one to keep an eye on as well. And then you've got Feyenoord versus Inter Milan. Inter Milan, I think, will go through in this game. They were, I think I've repeated it before, they were, I think they're also one of the favorites. I think one of the dark horses, very, very solid defensively. Obviously, they've just lost to Juventus 1-0. But I think they've got a good manager. They're well coached. They, 22-23, they obviously made the final. And I think they arguably should have won the final if we watched the game. Edison had an absolutely amazing game, and Inzaghi basically outcoached Guardiola, and it's not often you say that about managers. So I think Inter Milan are one to keep an eye on. Now let's get into what I think, like the score predictions of what's going to happen. So I think Barcelona will win the leg 4-2 over 2 legs. I think Dortmund will go out to Lille. I think Lille are going to absolutely, they're going to destroy. I was going to say something mad there. They're going to destroy Borussia Dortmund. I think that's not even going to be a competition. I think Dortmund will be out. Niko Kovac obviously is taken over there. So Lille will go through. Barcelona will go through. Bayern Munich versus Bayer Leverkusen. I really think Leverkusen will do it this year. I think Leverkusen will knock Bayern out. I think they will draw the first leg, and I think they will draw against Bayern at the Allianz, and they will win at the Bayer 04 Arena. The champions versus the runners-up, and it's a bit switched this season. Feyenoord versus Inter Milan. I think Inter will beat Feyenoord. I think it's going to be tighter than a lot of people think, than what some think. I think people think Inter are going to roll them over. It's not going to happen. Feyenoord are very, very solid. Good team. Obviously bias as well. I've got some bias because of Arne Slot, but I think Inter will find it tough. But I think Inter will go through. So that means our next quarterfinals have been set. So we've got Liverpool versus Aston Villa as one quarterfinal. We have got Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal as the other quarterfinal in my predictions. The next quarterfinal, we have got Barcelona versus Lille, which, again, it's another game I can't call. I think I rate Lille very, very highly. I rate them very, very highly. You then got Leverkusen versus Inter Milan, which again will be an absolutely brilliant game. So our 4 quarterfinals will be Liverpool versus Aston Villa from England, Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal, a repeat of the Europa League semi-finals a couple of years ago. We've got Barcelona versus Lille, and we've got Leverkusen versus Inter Milan. That is my predictions for the round of 16. Liverpool to go through, Aston Villa to go through, Atletico Madrid, Arsenal, Barcelona, Lille, Leverkusen, and Inter Milan. That means Paris Saint-Germain, Club Brugge, Real Madrid, the European champions, PSV, Benfica, Borussia Dortmund, the finalists of last season, Bayern Munich, and Feyenoord will go out. Let me know what you guys think below, because I think this is important to, highlight. And drop your winner of the Champions League below. It's hard to call now, but drop your winner below. I think Atletico Madrid are going to end up winning the competition, but you guys let me know what you think. It's going to be some crackers in the round of 16. Whether you're a Liverpool fan, Villa fan, Atletico Madrid fan, Real Madrid fan, or whoever you are, Arsenal fan, it's going to be bumpy, but it's going to be very, very interesting. Thank you guys for watching, and leave your predictions below for the round of 16 as well. Who you think will go through, and drop your scores as well. And thank you for watching. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. It's a bit of a longer video, but make sure to like, make sure to subscribe again, and send it to all your friends, share it to all your friends. 500 subs. We're going to start the journey now. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. The road to Munich is on.